All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? How's everybody doing today? This is Ceremonial Witchcraft you are listening to. My name is Corey LeBlanc. I am the host of this fucking thing I created. It is a podcast through Spreaker, which I talk about spirituality and how to use your fucking mind the right way to get shit done, basically. I could always call this occult shit with no bullshit occult shit. That was another, I actually might use that. If I ever start using my magic on a budget channel, then I might and then need another channel that's going to be my next name. But, you know, I threw it out there, and if anybody wants to create their own and use no bullshit occult shit, then by all means, I'll be fucking pretty happy to see it somewhere and be like, hey, someone, that's one of my listeners. Because, you know, I just looked at it today, and I have new demographics available. And I mean, I'm not big time by any stretch of the imagination. But like I said, I'm thankful for every one of you fuckers out there listening to me. And this week alone, well, whatever shows up, there's like 3 paragraphs that show up at 17th. I think there's like 2 or 3 days in between every one of them. So these probably aren't daily, but there's probably like 3 days worth in every one of these bars on this paragraph. And, you know, it's showing me my monetization, how many downloads, and, you know, I hit the 300 mark downloads in one day, I think yesterday, maybe, or the day before, I don't really know. But anyways, you know, that day, 300 downloads were from 192 different people, almost 200 different listeners is what it said. So, because, you know, I always assume that maybe I have like 100 and some fucking, I have over 100 fucking things on here, right? Episodes. So, one listener could literally download all of them, and that can make up, you know, 1/3 of that 300. So technically, I can get that from 3 users. Let's say someone really likes what I have to say and just downloads everything, you know, to binge watch, listen to me, then, you know, that's cool. Whatever. I'd be super stoked about that as well. Like, that's not something I'm saying would be shitty. And that's happened before because I've looked back and I've kind of seen that, and that's fucking awesome. It doesn't show me who it is, so anybody out there, I don't know who you are, and it doesn't matter. I fucking think that's fucking cool. I do that with all the people I like. I watch their shit multiple fucking times, and I still watch my stuff that started me off on this path multiple times. Even the new age crap that I don't even think is good for me, technically, I watch over and over again. And that's just because, you know, I want to give them a hit. And, you know, you learn stuff from this, whether it's what not to do, what not to say, what is an issue, or if it's something that I never thought of and I can put a correspondent or twist on it to help people understand it better, you know, then it is what it is. Yeah, I think that's pretty sick. 192 people listened to me very recently. And, you know, the rest of those other bars, I mean, that's probably not in that one day, but, you know, in 3 days out of the 300 downloads, that's from 192 different people. So, you know, a few of those people obviously downloaded a lot of the episodes. And, you know, it still could be one person downloaded 100, and the other 191 did the rest of that 300. And that's still super cool. But, yeah, I just want to say how grateful I am for all that. It really boosts my confidence and makes me want to keep making shit. Technically, I wasn't going to make one today, and you're not going to know if I release this today or next week or not at all at this point because I'm just recording it. I really got to try to make sure I'm in the right mindset when I do this and try to pretend I'm live at the moment so it sounds good to you. But in the end, I don't want to be deceptive either. I just want to be real. I want to be honest. I want to tell you what my opinion is. Now, if anybody listens to my birth chart, and they can see and hear that I have multiple spots where it says I'm intuitive. I think there's 2 spots to talk about me being sensitive, which would be more the empath type, and lots of different ways of being psychic and being able to perceive the spiritual realm and shit like that. And then when you go into the transit at the end, man, that's something I didn't want to play, but I played it anyways because, like I said, I want to be real. But there was many spots where it said I might have mental instabilities or mental issues and shit like that. And, you know, once again, not going to lie, that shit was true at a certain time. And when I was hooked on opiates and before that cocaine and shit like that, I was definitely mentally unstable. And I think now I have more clarity than ever, but I'm not without days where that clarity is a little skewed, a little fucked up. But when it comes to this, I really think I do have a way to perceive it in a way that's demystifying a little bit of this shit, but in the same sense, keeping the magic in it, because anything that we don't understand is technically magic, but once we understand it, it's no longer magic. So the reason Frater Xavier in his first episode or second episode talks about, well, what is magic? Well, he says everything is magic, therefore it cancels itself out, so nothing's magic, or magic's not even the right term. He doesn't even like the word magic. It comes with a weird stereotype, either the geek Harry Potter stereotype or the black satanic stereotype, you know, and it's neither one of those fucking things. Those are two extremes of something that's not even part of this. Once again, it's not illusionism, it's not fake movie crap where you wave a wand around and push people in the air, although that would be fucking cool. I'm sure most people would like to do that, but thank God we can't. Because, you know, if people could fucking do that, then I'd be pushing all the guards out of the way to go rob the bank. You know what I mean? And I've fucked with my dark side, and I know what I'm capable of, but, you know, that's without having that power. You give me that power, and then I got to re-explore my dark side, because then I'm dealing with a whole new group of ideas. Because right now I don't have the potential to rob a bank and get away with it, so therefore I won't try it. And even though I know it's not right, but it is what it is. And you give me the ability to be able to get away with that with a magic wand that can make me do whatever I want, like I'm Green Lantern, and just whatever I think of happens, which is kind of like magic, by the way. But that being said, that's a whole new ball game. And right now, I would probably go rob that fucking bank. I wouldn't hurt a soul. I'd be like the animal that, you know, eats the other animal and doesn't toy with it, doesn't torture it, it just kills it and eats it for its survival. Well, I would go there and do what needs to be done for my survival without hurting anybody. I would take the money and not hurt a damn soul and just make sure their insurance covered it and, you know, nothing bad happened. That would be my goal, my aim. That's how I would play this out. That being said, who knows what would happen in the moment? Someone tries to fire on me, I get fucking pissed off, who knows? Point is, it's always good to check out your dark night of the soul, and it's always good to put yourself in positions like that. Now that I know that if I could get away with robbing a bank that I would do it, then I need to work on that, because it's not necessarily right. Why would I need to rob the bank? Okay, well, if I need to rob a bank, what do I need to do in this life to make sure that I don't need to rob a bank anymore? Therefore, I need to manifest some fucking money then. Or, more importantly, a means of having continuous money coming into my life. I get that shit under control, then yeah, there's no more need to rob that bank anymore. Why the fuck do I need to rob the bank? I want the bank to be stable. I want it to hold my funds. So, that's not what I want to talk about. I don't even know what I want to talk about. I just wanted to come on here and say thank you and a shout out to everybody who downloads my shit, and I think it's fucking amazing. I've been getting inspiration from multiple different places lately. One being the alien thing, when I was perceiving my buddy's energy when he got in trouble and all that. And take that for what it is. Was it because I was around him every day, giving him rides for the last couple of weeks? Is it because he was feeling some very strong emotion and fear when he was in jail, and I was somehow tapping into it? I don't know, but that started me on the whole alien thing. From there, I've been re-looking at Sumeria, Mesopotamia, and the creation story that predates the Genesis story, if you believe such stories. I'm not going to come out here and say the Mesopotamian story is real and, you know, predates Genesis. It predates Genesis in a literary, fictional kind of way. Is that really how the planets were born? Well, I don't know, because that creation story doesn't explain the creation of, would be the sun and where the asteroid belt is, which is Tiamat and, I want to say Anu, but no, Anu is Anus for Uranus, so I'm pretty sure Anu is Uranus. But anyways, the sun and the Tiamat, which is the asteroid belt. Well, those are the two beginning planets. They're both watery planets, but one is salt water, one is fresh water. Salt water is Tiamat, fresh water is the sun. Don't ask me where that logic comes from, because, you know, different places say different things. So this is just one version of that I heard more times than the sun being air in that version. But I did hear that. But to me, if the salt water and fresh water makes a little more sense, and not just because I watch Monster High and I know there's saltwater fish monsters and the freshwater fish monsters fight, but because, and you know, Peterson says this, and a few other people say it when they talk about Mesopotamian mythology, that they perceive the world as a round disc. On the edges of it, which is where the ocean is, with salt water, and when you go deep under the ground below you, you get to fresh water that you can drink, right? And so fresh water and salt water. Those are the two gods that make up your realm, right? Obviously, there's more than that, but that's the beginning. So in the beginning, there was those two. We don't know how those two were created, but those were the first two. Now, they created other gods together, having babies, so to speak, because they are male and female, even though it's water and water, which would be both negative, but kind of like, probably like, it's not, I'm not saying it's Jupiter and Earth, but something to that effect is Jupiter is a male sign, but he has a lot more representations to water than he does to fire or air. So that's besides the point. But Jupiter was one of their babies, different name, Kishar, something to that effect, and Saturn was a different name, and they even had Uranus and Neptune in there, and Pluto was one of the moons from Saturn, and Mercury was one of the ones in the beginning as well. I don't know if he was created or not, but he was one of the sun's henchmen, guys that, you know, take care of shit for him, basically, and he ended up getting bound to stay there to not be able to move around the solar system. But anyways, and then Marduk was this other one that's no longer in our solar system, so you can say maybe that's Planet X, Nibiru, Sirius. They tend to say this planet was going in a orbital fashion. It was going circles counterclockwise, but I think it's more like what Santos Bonacci talks about, how Sirius is the dog star, which is another sun bigger than our sun, and it's its binary. It's its better half or worse half, however you want to look at it. Our sun is male, that's female. That's how they perceive it today, and it's got an elliptical orbit. If you perceive our orbit as left or right to left, whichever way it is, I don't know. I want to say it's right to left, because what do you write, left or right? That's clockwise. Yeah, it's clockwise. Counterclockwise is the way the world spins, or we spin around the solar system, and that's why the precession of the equinoxes, we go through the signs the opposite way than we do through our months. Our months goes from Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, where Cancer, Gemini, Taurus was right before Moses, which was Aries, which was right before Jesus, which was Pisces, which is right before now Aquarius. So we're fucking going backwards, basically. After Aquarius, it's what, Capricorn? I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe it's Capricorn. So anyways, that's just a little food for thought, but that's what I've been listening to now. And Marduk, whenever the Tiamat and the name for the sun, I can't remember, had babies, little gods, they were being loud, pissing them off, and, you know, the sun says, okay, well, we gotta get rid of them, they're too much, you know, flood story or whatever, just drown them out, get rid of them. And they found out about that, and I think it's Uranus or Neptune, one of them put fucking the sun under a spell, put it in its sleep, and in its sleep it killed it, so to speak. And sometimes they say the mom said it to one of the other kids, and the kid told the other kids, and then they did it. Whatever the case is, they knew the dad was coming for them, and they put the dad to sleep and took his powers and or killed them. One of those two. And then so the mom was pissed off because he gave order, right? Every time they were getting out of hand, he would say, hey, knock that shit off. They didn't like that. But he said, fuck it, I'm tired of telling them over and over again. I'm just going to fucking kill him. And then they found that out, so they fucking out of self-defense killed him first. Who's right, who's wrong? I don't know. But that's just the story. And then she got pissed off because that was her husband. She said, oh, no, he was right. These babies got to die. Let's kill them. So she makes these demon monsters, is what they are called. But anyways, which is stupid. It's just people being stupid. But anyways, she creates these beings, makes one the king, the head honcho, and then Marduk is this other planet coming through the solar system that they're all seeing. And it's like, man, this guy's huge, this guy's big, he's spitting fire, he's fucking sick, he's got 10 halos, all this crazy shit, you know, they're really intrigued by it. But during this time, Neptune at this point is the furthest one in the solar system. So he sees it coming, and Neptune is pretty cool. He can do kind of the things that Saturn can do right now. But anyways, so they all try to go up against their mom or their mom's main demon or the other demon guys, and they either all chicken out or lose a fight. They don't die, but they all lose the fight or chicken out. So they don't know what to do. And I think it's Saturn who keeps plotting. And then he gets his little moon dude buddy, Pluto, to go around telling everybody, okay, here's the plan. We're going to get Marduk to fucking wipe out mom so she doesn't wipe us out. And so Marduk goes by Saturn after he, you know, goes by Neptune and Uranus. And then he gets caught in his shit or whatever, and then they say he kisses, so I don't know if that means they hit. But then, you know, he from there, after that happens, he says, okay, Saturn, well, Ishar, anyways, Kishar, or something like that, is the Jupiter from the one I listen to. Now, if you go on Google, you're going to get different names. You go on books, you're going to get different names. It's very hard to pinpoint the names. So what do? I use the ones I see the most popular of the top three, and I use those when I do things like with Saturn, Satan on the candle, just so I get everybody's energy that's ever in Satan. Well, that's the energy that's going to go in my candle. I don't think of Satan as a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. People that believe in him and make him a bad guy are the bad guys to me. But anyways, I'll put all the names that refer to Saturn on my candle when I'm doing something like today, for example. But anyway, so that's a little bit about that. Oh yeah, so whenever he goes by Saturn, he's like, okay, fine. You want me to take care of your mom? I can take her out, but you guys are gonna hold an assembly, a meeting, a council, and you're gonna fucking point me, the God of you gods. I'm the king of you fucking gods, okay? Then I'll take her out for you. We got a deal. So they figure, well, we were all too scared to do it. We're not gonna do it. Either she's gonna kill us, or this guy's just going to go away, or he's able to kill her, and, we get to stay alive, and, you got to talk to this guy, and, the odds that he's probably going to lose against Mom because she's pretty powerful. We all back down, so what are the odds he's not going to do that? So, yeah, no problem, bud. You can be king of us. No fucking issue. And he goes in there, and she's shooting spells at him, but he takes out her demon, and, he's got a net, and apparently some places he's got magic spells, too, that he shoots at her or uses words, and blah, blah, blah. Point is, he fucking mangles her. Boom! That's the asteroid belt. That's separating the heavens from the planes. He makes us out of the blood from her main demon fucking king guy. And so we're half demon and we're half God, basically. Which is why we both have negative and positive. Which is a really good way to look at it, in my opinion. Doesn't make it true, but just a good way to look at it, because we do have all these primordial fucking things that rule us, such as hunger, anger, lust, love, passion, jealousy, hate, fear, envy, greed, passion, compassion, all these things that rule us. These are all parts of either the gods or the demons, or both. So, it is what it is, and it's a good way. It's not any less accurate than, anything that the Bible is telling you how we came from. In fact, it's actually more accurate. And even in the Bible, they actually use words that are derived from the word Tiamat. Because in the beginning, the God that created that realm, which is technically the Mordar, whatever word I just said with the M, the big guy that said, hey, make me your king. And it kind of reminds you of Mordor and shit like that from Lord of the Rings. But anyways, well, he's the God from the Bible, technically speaking. He would be the God from the Bible. And they refer to him breaking up watery fucking something, which would be the watery planet of Tiamat, to make heaven, earth, people, and everything in it. So Jesus' disciples even talk about that. I forget which one. So point is, the Bible refers to this story as well. So obviously it had an effect on it, and it was back then when the people writing the Bible had it. So whether the Bible was actually the people in it, it was actually a story that we believe, or the people that wrote the Bible knew about the Babylonian Sumerian shit. It doesn't matter. The point is, the Bible points to this story of Sumer, of Mesopotamia, and that gives it a little bit of to me anyways, because, most people think the Bible real. Well, if you take the Bible real, the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, refers to this creation story being before Genesis. This is what he did in Genesis. Genesis is about him creating the heavens and the earth and all that, and the man and all that. So, well, how did he make that? Well, they kind of say in a few little lines that he did it from Tiamat. It was fucking Mordor. What the fuck was his name anyway? That guy, the god of the fucking Bible or whatever, who was supposed to come back, and then Babylonians changed that into all these Enkis and Anunnaki names and shit like that I was talking about not that long ago. And you go to Egyptian, well, they kind of have similar stories, and they focus more on creation in a better, more profound way, but they had more years to work on it. So anyways, all that to say, this is where I'm getting a lot of my inspiration lately. And doesn't mean I take it word for word, literally, that this is what happened, but I think it's very interesting checking it up. And I think it wasn't that long ago that I said I'm guilty of, going back and looking at our history to try to find out where we come from, but you can't take any of this for, this is like the creation of the solar system, and then it concentrates, if you take the Genesis or even the Gnostic, books from the Nag Hammadi library or whatever for our creation. Well, it's all basically the same. It all comes from the same place. But anyways, enough about the creation story. Maybe I'll come back and circle around to that after. But like I said last episode, I want to get back into magic. And my last episode, I focused on reject, banish, deny, and accepting the thoughts and how that will change your life on its own without doing sigils, without having an altar, without doing ritual magic. That alone is probably the best thing I could suggest to everybody who is starting this out, who doesn't either have the discipline, the time, or even want to start the book Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation, or Initiation to Hermetics from Franz Barden. I think both are great starters, and, Franz Barden is free on YouTube, and it will help you take back your mind very similar, if not maybe even better ways than Kabbalah, Great Work of Self-Transformation. I am more drawn to Kabbalah, Great Work of Self-Transformation, because I like